Let me first greet your listeners and also ask myself the questions that you've actually asked. Where to start? The ANC this year decided, to declare its programs as a program of decisive action. This is a resolution that was taken by the Conference National to say the ANC will take a posture where in its programs it will try to professionalize the organization. It will focus in its programs, economic programs that would assist the development of our societies. Now, flowing from that resolution of the ANC in terms of, professionalizing and building, inclusive economy of our regions and the country at large. There is also a position that was taken by our provincial Comrade Yelele, where he argued that there is no reason why the ANC is no leader of driving these programs that must assist in job creation. Now today, the event is to assist, or it's a culmination of those combined decisions taken by the ANC from different conferences. This is also part of the decisions that were taken by our regional conference at Mvelo, where we were directed to consider whether the kind of leadership that we have in the organization today is the leadership that mirrors the society that we want to see tomorrow, whether is the kind of leadership that we have, leadership that will be able to transform or deliver the ANC policies as, as resolved by different conferences. So we are not here for a particular program that was born from the region, but it's an issue of the ANC national, because an ANC is a unitary structure. What happens on the top must flow consistently, and that which happens at the bottom must influence decisions which are made at the top. Coming to issues of small business, I think for any person that understands issues of economy, and those that studied economics will tell you that there is no economy that can sustain itself if its programs are not directly influenced by small business. It is the intention of the ANC to grow its economy. Therefore, if it is the intention of the ANC to grow the economy, it means then the small business must be in the center of that intention. Now, when you have to ask me a question whether a foreigner is receiving business in our economy in the exclusion of the local or in the exclusion of the indigenous people, that to me would be a wrong question to ask, or maybe would be a wrong behavior from the state in any form. Nonetheless, I would want to argue with you as well, as you ask me that question, that currently, how do you define a foreigner in our own African land? What we should be focusing ourselves on is the implementation of these bylaws, which we are not implementing, and setting bylaws that at least assist the indigenous people of that particular area to be preferred, as opposed to start talking about foreigners within our own space. We need to protect the boundaries. We need to understand the business in Zimbabwe, the livelihood of people in Zimbabwe, the livelihood of people in Namibia, Angola, anywhere in Africa. If their livelihoods are not properly protected by their very economy, they will seek in our region refuge. And when they are here to seek refuge, we must at least have bylaws that protect the indigenous people from unfair trades. I think that is my answer to issue of foreigners versus local business. I think it's a month ago where we were sitting with professionals of the municipality where it was Mangaung, I believe it was Mangaung Mangaung Council Lekgotla, where we were invited. We listened to different professionals who advised the organization in how they would want to change the situation in Mangaung, in terms of the financial trajectory of Mangaung, in terms of the ability to collect, in terms of the intervention that the national government is playing in assisting Mangaung. Those issues relevantly so should have been asked to the MMC of Finance, because I'm here solely believing that the ANC has now put in place strategic plans in assisting the deployees in the city in how they must redevelop programs that would assist in terms of revenue collection, which is, by the way, our biggest problem in the city because of issues that we cannot also undermine, of issues of unemployment, of issues that have affected business negatively like your COVID, and many other issues that affect our general growth in the region. As we were listening at some stage, I think we referred to the growth of our region, our GDP in the region, that around about 3% or so, which is becoming a serious issue because earlier Mangaung was participating beyond 30%. We need to also look at those indicators that we are saying should be the drivers of our economy if we are acting in the right spirit in funding and assisting those areas. Because you cannot have, again, an institution that collects at 99% when the greater community of that institution is living under, the equilibrium.
Good day, my name is KB Lebusho. I'm from the Free State Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm the current CEO. And for today's engagement, we are very happy with what the Mangaung ANC Regional Committee has organized. It was a business breakfast. And I think the objective of today was basically just to engage different stakeholders from government, from us as the business chambers, business organizations, and then also to have entrepreneurs in the room. So I think as far as the engagement, how they went today, I believe the objective was achieved. I believe they did some work. However, I believe they can also do better, because I think maybe some of the people that were brought into the room, some of them were not necessarily, we have like super startup people that were in the room that could not necessarily contribute in terms of the engagements of the day, the matters of the day, which is to change. I mean, we are all about changing the economy. Us as the Free State Chamber of Free State Chamber of Commerce and Industry is to make sure that we do lobby and advocacy on behalf of businesses in the Free State to make sure that we give people access to information, access to finance, access to markets, and all those things that we're engaging them with. So I believe that the people that were here today, some of them were correct, but I believe there could have been other stakeholders that could have been invited. As we are busy with public, private participation, engagement. So I believe we could have done better in terms of today's engagements. But I applaud what the vision for today was. Was the mandate fully achieved? I believe so. But I always believe there's always a room for improvement. I don't believe that the youth was well represented. You have to remember, before I was the CEO of the Free State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I used to be the president of Youth Chamber of Commerce and Industry South Africa Free State, right? So we were, lobbying and speaking on behalf of young people in business and understand the importance of, young people who are playing, playing big roles in the space of business. So to answer your question simply, I don't think there was enough youth representative. I'm not sure if they were not invited, or if they were invited, they were not able to come, because as you might be aware that the invitations, I don't want to say they went out late. I'm not sure if it was the planning, if it was the invitation, or if the organization, the organizing of the event was done in last minute. But I don't think there was enough representation for young people in business and women as well. But not only that, we also have, because these are designated groups, because we also have young people living with disabilities, and I don't think they were well represented as well in this space here. So, and then as far as, you know, foreign nationals given priority, I've seen that. But not only that, it also pains me when you look at, I was with a friend of mine, you know, China City, China Mall. We were down there, you know, and then small street as well. And because you have to understand, these are economical hubs somehow here in Bloemfontein. And you look at those places, we do not have South Africans, let alone black South Africans, that are owning spaces, that are owning shops. Like you go small street right now, you will not find our people that are owning, whether be it those liquor businesses or any type of business that are in that area, they are owned by foreign nationals. And I don't know if it is legislation or policy that allows these people to just take over and do as they please in our country. You check, my brother can show you of different places where our people are not given space. I'm not sure if our people are not given space or if we're not taking the space ourselves. But as the chamber, we believe that that thing has to be changed, but we cannot change it on our own. Because you have to understand, like I just said, it's legislation and policy. And if these things are from that level, there's nothing much that we can do. But we have to keep on lobbying and see that we can drive change in our economy right here in the Free State. My closing remarks would be, let's keep working together. There's a big weight that came today. And, you know, and also in the corridors, everywhere, people talk about collaborating versus competing. You know, we need not to be competing all the time. You know, we can collaborate, and for us to make our country a better place is for us to collaborate, work together, not necessarily compete, and see how we can synergize and take, you know, our city, our economy, how we can transform it and take it to the next level.
Good afternoon. My name is Comrade Bitumelo Solomon. I am the treasurer at Ward 20 Fezile Dabi branch in Mangaung. I am also the head of communication and administration in the office of the regional treasurer. This business breakfast that was held today was a program introduced by the Mangaung Treasurer's Management Team, which is the MTMT that everybody has been asking about. It is one of our first programs to take off. The initial objective of this program was to engage different stakeholders, business people, and bring them together in one room to share concerns, ideas, proposals, as well as including the regional team from Mangaung Executive Committee, so that they can engage back as to the concerns of stakeholders and everybody else that attended the program today. So in terms of the objectives, yes, I would say we have achieved, even though there were shortfalls, but I guess it comes with every initiative that one drops. A lot needs to be improved on, but it's something that we also took note of, and I think going forward we will do better. The room, the capacity, yes, our aim was to accommodate more or less 50 candidates in one room. The participation, I'm impressed because our organizing department might have had shortfalls in terms of the invitations that reach stakeholders much later. But in terms of attendance, it is quite impressive, as much as we were limited to time and last minute planning. I would say we really did reach maximum attendance in terms of the number of people that we had invited. Although I would have loved that we had invited on a smaller scale the people that are starting out in business, because I saw that the room was filled with, I don't want to say big short names, but people that are already developed, whereas the one of the aims is to also start the people that are very small in business, who are only entering the business space now, being introduced, so that a lot of mentoring can come onto them, a lot of training can be concentrated on in terms of those who are only entering the business space at that particular moment. In terms of the issue of the dates, there is a poster that was shared on the MTM group, which was not a final draft. This was for further engagements to show the management team that we are working with as to the draft that we had. But comrades assumed that it was the final product, therefore they shared the poster on social media, and that's how people received the date of the 1st of June instead of the one of the 31st. But it was followed up by an apology and correction thereof to say that the final draft is actually for the date of today, which is the 31st of May, and that we are sorry for the inconvenience and miscommunication of the different posters. Say they should keep on pushing, knocking on doors. I heard a lot of concerns being raised on business people that are saying there's a lot of infrastructure that is abandoned in the city, and that they are getting a lot of disapprovals from the management or the management in terms of them being allocated the different spaces to operate from. So I'd like to say to them to keep on knocking on those doors until eventually something comes up. But I'm glad that we have formed this quorum, this committee that we have done today, because now those issues are something that we are aware of and we can engage on, and therefore feedback can be given to those particular individuals that raised concerns in terms of not being granted access to all these infrastructures that the city has.
Central TV.